And so began the exam week. It's finally time for the exam, and I think I'm already late because I don't know where the exam center is because I'm very bad at maths and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And that is what I'm going to do in PSM1. Just keep on writing and think about it afterwards. I am well prepared. Let's rock. I reached my exam center, which was IGGMC Nagpur.
Chalo, all the best.
As the first paper was getting closer and closer, I really felt underprepared. Very underprepared. The anxiety was crawling inside my brain all over, and all of it vanished right as I walked out of the exam center. I won't say the exam paper was easy, but I am definitely going to say that I did my best and I am sure I am going to pass. The smiling faces of me and my friends are a proof that the exams started well. To celebrate the successful battle and win against my first paper, that is Community Medicine 1, I treated myself with some snacks and of course a badam lassi. Hello and welcome back. I am finished with the day and my exam. It was a sort of eccentric paper, but I think I was prepared for it. To be honest, I wrote anything and everything that I could remember, and I am not sure if it was right or wrong. But all that matters is confidence, and none of that stuff matters now because the paper is gone and we are fine. One done, 3 more to go. For now, I am going to relax for another half an hour or so and then get back to work. The rest wasn't for half an hour. The rest was for the whole night. I woke up straight on the next day only to find myself searching for the index and trying to figure out which chapters come in Community Medicine 2. My roommates who are currently in final year were going for their exams as they are on the alternative day for us. Best of luck to them. I am sure they will prevail the exams. Continuing the daily routine, I set up my desk and got ready to tackle another paper. That will be Community Medicine 2. Good morning, it's the start of a new day. It is already sunny outside. It is pretty late in the day, and finally, after getting over the yesterday's relaxing session and the perfect sleep, I'm going to start PSM 2. Time and time again, I find myself ending up in the same situation. A lot to read and a lot less time to do it. So I filled up my bottle with the magic water and sat down to study. To be honest, I'm not really sure where PSM 1 ends and where PSM 2 starts, but still there are a lot of things to learn in PSM 2, like the chapter of nutrition, the health programs. It is all ratta and it is going to take time, so I should start right now. I can't wait to be done with the exams. It's just 3 more papers left and I am trying my best to keep myself motivated. So I started studying on the desk, but in a few minutes I found myself studying on the bed. How did it happen? I have no idea. The magic of being on bed is that we feel so relaxed and that relaxation slowly slips into sleep. My hand was grabbing the shetty and my eyes were reading it, but my brain was like, ना बेटा ना, आज तो तुझसे पढ़ाई होगी नहीं. Of course I tried convincing myself कि भाई पढ़ ले, कल पेपर है, मौत आ जाएगी. But my brain was just not at all registering any information. Finally I gave up, left the book on table and had a nice afternoon nap. I woke up hungry in the evening. Looking at the beautiful sunset sky, I went on to have my snacks at the usual place. This time, the little doggy greeted me with a cheerful wagging tail. It was as if that doggy was wishing me best of luck for the exams. I know you will prevail. Cheerfully, I moved on ahead, only to find myself strolling around the road, looking at the places where I can refresh my mind. And here I was, in my very own college, GMC Nagpur. The sense of familiarity, discipline and purpose that I feel by seeing the college building is all that I needed to start a productive evening. Riding back to my room through this lush greenery and brightly painted sky, I felt more energy than I did ever before in the day. I started with revising the MCQs of community medicine. I found out that I did not solve all the MCQ question banks, so I took the help from my friends and we solved the questions together. The book had a lot of mistakes and we had to find out the correct answers through and through, so it took a lot of time. But I did finally finish it. I moved on to learning the important questions from the Shetty, and the best way to learn is to write it down. I spent the rest of the time practicing the questions by writing them down on the notebook. I was done with almost half of the syllabus of the next paper. It was time to sleep. Good night. Good morning and welcome to another day of my exams where I torture myself with reading PSM.
I mean, it's not exactly torture, but too much of it does cause me getting sleepy and stuff. And my exams are in about 2 hours, and I'm still left with health programs and nutrition, which I will complete in a while. One reason I won't go to the past is because I don't know how I'm going to do all the studying again. Wish me luck.
I revised in fast mode, finishing all the chapters just in the nick of time. Either PSM is going to nail me or I'm going to be nailed by PSM. Isn't it the same passive voice? Wait. Either PSM is going to nail me or I'm going to nail it. Either ways, I have fun. One last glance over all the topics before the exam and I was good and ready to move out.
I am a little afraid, but डरते हैं क्या is my slogan for this paper as well. All the best. It's finally time to go to PSM2. Seems like it might be one of the most hardest papers, but I don't really care.
How did you prepare for exam?
I haven't quite prepared enough.
उसको देख.
There's my hope.
There's my hopeless.
As I wrote my paper inside the classroom, the sky outside kept on changing. It was evening already and my paper was over. As I walked out triumphant after finishing one more exam paper, I realized IGGMC really is a very beautiful college. Going back a half an hour journey on scooty, again going to the same snack center, again having the same snacks, I tried keeping my routine steady and my mind stable.
Good morning, and it's another late morning to wake up for me. The sun is already up. It is 2 days holidays until my next paper, and I feel like the papers are already over because PSM2 is over, and that was the biggest subject I had to read. I am going to spend my time today in reading of the subjects as well as doing something that is non-academic because I'm so bored of academics. Yesterday I wanted to shoot a video on YouTube, but I couldn't think of a topic that you might be interested in.
Break the same old routine, I thought I should learn something new. And so I opened my MacBook and learned GIMP, which is an image editing program that I use for making my thumbnails. I hope they have gotten a little better by now. Making a YouTube video takes a lot of time and efforts, and I would really appreciate it if you could award my hard work with a like and a subscribe. Please share it with your friends if you feel I am worthy. It has been about an hour. Exams are not over, even though I feel like it. I need a bath, then I study. Having a bath and getting refreshed gets my brain back on track. And by back on track, it doesn't always mean studies. I ended up with my mobile again only to time pass on it. This really is a void that sucks time. Until I had my hands on the book, it was already 12 o'clock. I started with ENT and I thought, let's first try and read the topics that I have never read before. One of them was recurrent laryngeal nerve. The diagram of it was asked quite a few times in the exam and I tried and practiced it on the book. After doing a few more questions of ENT, I ended up with my mobile again, but this time learning something new on the software for editing videos. Little efforts every day can bring miraculous changes.
Now my eyes are a little tired of all the screen and YouTube and stuff. I'll take a break of half an hour to 1 hour, rest my eyes and maybe sleep a bit. I plan to finish a little bit of ENT and ophthalm, well, as much as I can. That should be enough.
When I woke up, I found myself riding again on the roads, looking at the beautiful sunset and scenery. Okay, my break time is finally over and now I'm going to seriously study. That was a much needed break, but it cannot go any longer or I will fail in third year. That is not what I want, so let's get started. You know, whenever you procrastinate, you ask yourself, why am I doing it? What is the purpose? These are wrong questions. Actually, you should ask yourself, until when will I keep doing it? What is stopping me from studying? And that's when you will come to know that the answer is you. And when you feel like it, the best way to move ahead of it is just do it with your friends, and that's what I'm going to do. A little MCQs with my friends will surely get me in the gears. The time that I spent studying with my friends was the best ever, but they had their own studies to do and I had my own studies to do, and that's what I did for the rest of the day. After finishing ENT, I got tired and called it a night. Good morning, it's another chill day for me, but for my seniors, it's a day of chaos and a lot of studies. I think it's their surgery paper today and they are not having such a good time as me. I wake up relaxed, eating breakfast as they move out to give their paper. All the best to them. It's another sunny day. It's a great day to read ENT and finish it once and for all.
I'm going to just go through the PDF that I made for ENT and that should be enough. In the last two papers, I have made a lot of mistakes of leaving big chunks of chapters until the very end. It was PSM, so it was a little manageable because we can make our own answers, but not for ENT and Ophthalm. So it is mandatory that I finish it till 5, and that is what I'm going to try to do. All the best to me.
Reading through my UT99 notes, which are the ultimate notes for my university exams, I found myself easily going through a lot of topics of ENT. After revising half of ENT, I think I should reward myself with some chocolates and a little stand-up comedy. Yeah, my brain deserves some rest na. Well, that rest time was over. Time to study about the things that I never did before. That is bronchoscopy and esophagoscopy.
Who do you think is more successful? Elon Musk, who has to work like 400 hours a week, or me, who can sleep in the afternoon without having to explain anything to anyone? I think the relaxed life is a better life, at least for me. I have been studying from 1 hour, but it is kind of slow, so I made a bet with one of my friends that if I cannot finish my work till 5 o'clock, I will pay for the food, and if she cannot finish the work by 5 o'clock, she will do the same. I'll still say a relaxed life is a better life, and that's my measure of success. So technique of maxillary and cardiac operation को anti-androstomy बोलते हैं.
With that bet, I was motivated more than ever to finish ENT. It was free food after all. Who is not going to finish it? I kept going and going and going, only to be interrupted by a notification which said, so my practical timetable just dropped and it is from 25, 27, 28. Not to be too happy or not to be too sad. I don't know what to expect. For now, I'm just going to focus on ENT. Even though I studied and studied and studied till 5 o'clock, I could not finish the target. Why? Because I set it a bit too high and unachievable. It's almost 5 o'clock, although I couldn't reach my target because I set it too high, and that's my fault. In any case, my brain is tired because I'm not registering anything that I'm reading, so I'm going to take a rest for 5-10 minutes or maybe 20 minutes to half an hour depending on what my mood is, but not more than half an hour. Okay, good morning. Half an hour bola tha, but I overslept. It is 6:30 and I am going back to ENT. Need to finish it, that is all. It was now time to learn about nose, its nasal sinuses and all the cancers and surgeries that we do on the nose. For something that can be broken so easily, it has a very complex structure inside. As I was studying and trying to cover up my own chapters, my roommate sat down and studied for their next paper as well. It was supposed to be surgery 2, which was even difficult than surgery 1, as he said. The best way to finish this big syllabus is to go through my notes that I prepared throughout the year and match them with the notes of university exams that I prepared in just last 15 days. That way I know the common points, and of course I have already learned my notes, so learning the university notes will be easier than ever, or that's what I thought. In the end, I ended up using previous year questions from Malani. It was finally night. I was still left with a lot of questions, but my brain said, "Bhai, abhi mujhse nahi ho raha. Main job chhod raha." If you feel like you are going insane, it's always a good idea to sleep. And finally, here it was, the morning of my third exam day. It began as usual, me on my bed, reading through iPad, sleepy eyes and doll-like face, almost like a zombie. That's how the exam day goes by. I end up on my desk eating breakfast. It is 11:30 and I'm still left with 20 pages of the PDF with revision of the complete PDF. During the papers, it's important that you write even if you don't remember it, so understanding the topic comes first. Here I'm trying to read and remember as much as I can, and trying to sort of connect the headings and see how it works. It was the last hour before exams. I decided to revise all the syllabus in fast mode, believing that my photographic memory was good enough, even though it was very bad. Finally, I went through Bhalani again to find out all the important questions and revise them one last time. I read it one time, I revised it one time, should be enough. Let's do our best. The question paper was pretty predictable, except for the one question on diphtheria that was never asked before. But I could do it with the knowledge of microbiology that I had. With the golden glow of sun on my face, I felt like a superhero living through a dream life. 3 papers were over, one last question paper left, and that was ophthalmology. I gave myself a treat for surviving the 3 question papers.
Best paper ending ever.
So I took a walk in the evening, found a cute dog, recorded it while it was stretching and relaxing. Then I listened to music and watched an episode of anime. Everything but studies. Yes, this was the last paper syndrome, and that's how my day ended. Wasted on nothing.
Hello and welcome back to the last day of studying, because tomorrow is off-time paper and my exams will finally be over. At least the theory part of it, but that itself is good. The worst thing that can happen at this time is the last paper syndrome, and I'm so going to try to avoid it right now by setting up my goals and by motivating myself that after the exams I'm going to go eat someplace nice. And finally, I'll start with ophthalm.
After the same routine of setting up my room, cleaning my desk, eating breakfast while watching the stand-up comedy, I finally sat down for ophthalmology. Last paper syndrome hitting slowly and steadily, but still, padhai karni hai. Even though the number of topics were smaller than ever, each topic was big. And the book I was referring to, that Khurana, I was finding it very difficult to learn things from it. I ended up switching to my own notes in ophthalmology that I created throughout the year. Of course, again a mistake. I should have started with it in the beginning itself. Reading and reading and reading all through the day, I was still left with half of ophthalmology. It was night already and I could not go on, so I slept. And we are finally here, to the last day of the 3rd year university exam. Final stretch of studying, finally going through those topics, finally finishing ophthalmology, everything was final. Ophthalmology is not a difficult subject, it's just hard to imagine. As I was going through all the questions once and for all, I noticed that they had a repeating pattern of similar management and treatment. So I focused on learning that only.
This is the end. Last paper. One last time. Let's give our best.
And the paper went well. It was finally over. This was the last dreamy sunset that I will witness in IGGMC. With blood in our veins, and that blood is made of iron, and that iron is found only in the core of stars. So basically, we are all little stars looking at other stars. That's how life is. Sure, the life keeps on testing us in one way or another. Sure, my theory exams of 3rd year were over, but the practical exams were left. Seeing actual patients, diagnosing them, and then a viva from the teachers. All of it will be in the next video. So stay tuned. Happy studying. This is Abhijit signing out. Just like my journey through medical college, do you want to know more about my Neet days as well? Let me know in the comment section.